Ellie, I'm missing you.
I know, I've been missing you guys too. It's so weird because after you get used to doing this every day and then you have a few days off, it's almost
Ellie, I'm missing you.
it's almost it's not depressing, it's just kind of like sad, like, oh my gosh, everybody's not with me today and we're not spending time together, so it's almost sad, but
I call it empty. I call it empty.
Empty, yeah.
That's how I felt when I do the same thing. I train for a whole long time and then I'm not with those people, and it's I feel empty. It's like, where are my peeps?
I know, and it's like, what am I supposed to do with all this time? It's not that I don't have enough to do, right? It's just that I love being live with you guys for sure. So definitely missed it, and miss seeing these beautiful faces. Oh my gosh, look at all these beautiful faces.
We've been having a boot camp withdrawals. I had to watch replays to get my fix.
I think that's accurate. I think that's how it is.
We're gonna start a Boot Camps Anonymous group.
Absolutely. I think I'm the first one there.
All right, you guys, we're going to talk about MailingBoss today. We're going to do real simple stuff today to kind of ease everybody in, because MailingBoss is big. It doesn't seem that big, but it is actually a really big monster to kind of overcome. So we're going to start simple today. And all we're going to do today is we're going to learn how to set up MailingBoss for the first time. Because if you haven't been in MailingBoss, it's going to take you through a setup process, and we're going to make sure to go through that. Then we're going to go ahead and set up our profile information, our company information. We do that. And then we're going to go ahead and look through all the menus. You guys know how I do this. We're going to go through all the menus to make sure we understand what everything in the menu does. There's several different menus in MailingBoss, so we're going to go through all that. And then after that, we'll go ahead and call it a day. And tomorrow we'll jump into creating subscriber lists and email lists, and we'll create an email sequence. Okay. So that's what we've got on tap for today. And I'm going to go ahead and jump in, and I'm going to show you what it's like to sign up as a brand new user and access MailingBoss. So let's go ahead and do that right now. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. There we go. And there's you guys right there live on Facebook. Isn't that funny? And I'm going to go into an incognito window like this. Perfect. And I'm going to go into MailingBoss. Actually, I'm going to go into a free trial. So I'm going to create a brand new free trial, and I'm going to show you what it's like for a brand new person that's never been in MailingBoss before, what it's like for them to sign up and access it for the very first time. So this is the 7-day free trial, and we're just going to go ahead and create a user. So I'm going to go to 7 days. Then I'm going to sign up, and I'm going to write down the name that I use. So I'm going to use, let's see. See, I've like already used all my grandchildren's name. So let's go. Christy Lynn Turner. I'm writing this down so I don't forget who it is. So we'll go to Christy Turner, and her email is going to be Christy and let me write that down. Christy Lynn at buildrawdiva.com, and then her password is a secret. All right, so she should now have a brand new account. Yay. And and it takes me into this area right here. We'll go. That's my personal welcome page. So I'm going to go to Build Raw Login. So there's my virtual office. And there we go. So now Christy Lynn has a brand new account. So this is a brand new account. She is, everything is clean. Nothing's been done to this account. So I'm going to show you what it's like for them to go into MailingBoss for the first time. And to do that, I just go into the MailingBoss area. So there's MailingBoss right there. This is how we access it. So I'm going to click that. And then I'm going to go ahead and access MailingBoss. Before I do, I want to talk to you a little bit about what MailingBoss actually is before we get into too many details about how to set it up, because a lot of people don't know exactly what MailingBoss is or what it does. So all MailingBoss is a way to set up emails so you can automatically send them out to whoever signs up for your subscriber list. So when you have people that sign up and they get added to MailingBoss to your subscriber list, you can actually set it up so that emails go out automatically without you having to manually send them out. For example, I may have 7 emails that I want to get sent out automatically every time somebody joins Builderall. So I can set it up so that I create those 7 emails, and then I put them into the MailingBoss system, and I set it up so that every 2 days, those emails send out. So when a person signs up, they'll get a welcome email the very first thing, right when they sign up. Then 2 days later, they'll get another email sent out. 2 days later, they'll get another email sent out. And 2 days later, they get another email sent out. That's called an autoresponder. You might have heard that word before. It's called an autoresponder because it automatically responds to the person signing up for your list based on the day that they signed up. So you can imagine, let's say that Phoenix signed up today. So she's going to get her welcome email message today, and then she'll get the next email message 2 days later. So if she signs up today on Tuesday, she'll get her second email on Thursday. But if Dominic signs up on Wednesday, he's going to get his welcome email message right away, but he won't get the second email message until Friday because it's based on what day he signed up. So that's the cool thing about it, is it's all automated. It all goes out automatically. All you do is set up your emails right when you create the list. And then when people start signing up, they get these emails sent to them automatically. Now, do you have to limit the number of emails you send out? No. If you want an autoresponder to go out 100 days, you can have an autoresponder go out 100 days. I don't suggest that because you'll make your people really tired, right? They'll be getting emails from you every day and they'll be like, oh my God, I'm not getting another email from Shelly Turner. Am I? Are you serious? So you get them tired. So you don't want to create an email list that's just going to bombard them, especially if you're bombarding them with stuff that you're selling, right? If you're adding value, I can see maybe setting up an email list that might have a quote or something that goes out every day or every other day or once a week or something like that. But I cannot see you selling every single day. And I have someone that's on my list right now, that my email list, that sends me an email every day selling stuff. And I keep saying I'm going to unsubscribe from that list, but her emails are entertaining. So that's really the only reason why I keep allowing that list to send me emails, because I think that her emails are entertaining enough. I haven't bought a single thing from her, but her emails are funny. So that's the only reason I keep them going. So think about when you're making these lists, think about your users, and then think about yourself and what you want, right? Do you want an email every day? Do you want 10 emails a day? Absolutely not. Think about working hard to not make your people list weary so that they keep getting emails and they're like, I'm going to consider leaving this list because it's too many. Also, when you're sending out your emails, do it in a way that you create value along with maybe promoting. So what I always do is the welcome email is always just welcome. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad to see you on our list. We're so excited to have you. Blah, blah, blah. My name is Shelly Turner and I'm the Builderall Diva and blah, 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 blah. So I'm going to talk a little bit about myself and maybe add some value. The second email, I'm going to add some value again. Don't hit them with an offer until the third email. Okay, you want to create a know, like, and trust factor. And you want to make sure that you're providing some type of value to give them a reason to stay on your list. Okay, that unsubscribe button is on every single email, and it's so easy for them to click unsubscribe. So you want to make sure that you're giving them a reason to stay on that list. Okay, so give value, value, promote. Value, value, promote. Value, value, promote. Okay, that's the way it works. Everybody got that? Value, value, promote. Value, value, promote. Then they'll be more likely to stay on your list. Okay. We also have the ability to do individual emails that are not a part of the actual sequence or the autoresponder. And these in the system are called regular emails. But if you guys have been out in the marketing world, they're also called broadcast emails. These are emails that go out one time, and they go out on a specific date and time. So it's not dependent on the person and when they signed up. It's dependent on what date and time you said it was going to go out. So these are really good if you've got a promotional offer and you want it to go out on a specific date. So you can set that date and it will go out on that date. Okay, so that is a regular email or a broadcast email. We'll actually learn how to do both of those. The email sequence emails and then the broadcast or regular email. Okay, so that's the value of MailingBoss. It is an automated system that helps you to get your emails out to your subscribers so that they're automated and you don't have to send them out individually. It's all automated in the system. Okay, so now let's go ahead and set up MailingBoss for the first time. Before I do, are there any questions at all? Nope. Okay, let's keep going. I'm going to share my screen. And here we are. We're going to access MailingBoss. And if you want to review, I went over here to the MailingBoss item on the left-hand side and click that. And now I'm going to click Access MailingBoss. And now it's going to open up MailingBoss, and it's going to tell me, welcome to MailingBoss. Isn't that nice? So what I have to do is fill out some initial information. So I have to fill out my first name, and I'm going to go ahead and call this Christy Lynn. And then last name is Turner. I'm going to click Next. And now I'm going to put in the name of my business. So I'm going to do Turner Consulting. So Turner Consulting. And my website. There you go. And the default sending address, we're going to say it's Christy, if I can spell it.
This is all changeable later, Kelly?
Yes, all this is changeable later, and I'll actually show you where you can go in and change all this stuff. Also, this is your default information. Okay, so this is really important to remember. This is your default information. So if you don't change a subscriber list, if you don't change the information on each subscriber list, it's going to go to the default information and it's going to use this information. But I'm going to show you where you can go in and change it for each subscriber list. So you're not locked into only this information for every list that you're sending out. Okay, you can actually change it for each and every list that you create. So one of the things that I do is no reply at diva.com. One of the things that I do is right here where it says default reply to address. A lot of times I will put, most of the time, actually all the time, I put no reply at builderawdiva.com or whatever email I'm using. The no reply, I actually put that in there to let them know that I'm not going to be answering that email. One of the hardest things I have, and I know a lot of people have, is if you have a lot of domains and you have a ton of email, you're going to have email coming in from every single direction. You're like, oh my gosh, you got to check that email and that email and that email and that email. And if you, my poor phone has probably at least 20 email addresses that it goes out and gets and brings back for me. And that's too many. And that's even using this system. So instead of setting up different emails for the reply to email, I just set up no reply to let the people know that this is going to be an email address that I'm not going to reply to. So if they try to send me an email by hitting reply, it's going to come up as no reply so that they know there's no reply that's going to happen. We're not going to get this email address. We're not going to look at it. It's a no reply email address. So that's the way I do it. So I don't have to have all these different emails that I'm checking. And to me, that's really important because if you're going to have a different domain email for each subscriber list, you don't want to go and check every single domain's reply to email. It's going to just be too much work. But if you put one single reply, like let's say Shelly at teamawesome.com or something like that, well, that's going to be a different domain than what you had over here as the default sending email address, and it doesn't look very professional. So I just put no reply and then at the domain that I'm using for this subscriber list, and that works perfectly because then I never have to check that email. In fact, I don't even create an email address with that email. That way it's lost in cyberspace and it never gets delivered. So I never have to worry about it. And then I'll set up a support email address on the website that I'm working with so that then I can actually check the support email if I need to, but not here at the reply to. So this is the default information for MailingBoss. I'm going to click next. And now it wants an address. So I'm going to put in my address. This is my actual address. If you guys want to send me birthday presents and Christmas presents, that's okay. And, and then I'm going to go ahead and choose my country. And last time I checked, I was in the United States, although I just recently got back from London, which was really cool. All right, so there's my physical mailing address. And then I'm going to click next. And now I've set everything up so that I'm ready to start using MailingBoss. I'm going to go ahead and look at your eyeballs again and make sure you understand what we've set up so far. That is the default information. And it's also very, very important that you set up that information at the beginning, because it's going to go back to that information if you don't set it up for each subscriber list. And it's going to pull in that default information. Now, the company information that we set up, where I put my physical mailing address and city, state, zip, and country, all of that is going to be taken and combined and put into every single email, and it's going to have the company address in there for you. And that is required by something called the CAN-SPAM Act. So if you're in the United States and you're sending out emails, it's a requirement to put your company name and your company address information in there. So you want to make sure it's valid information. Now, I always put my physical mailing address. And so far, I've never had a stalker. I know it's shocking, but I was telling somebody the other day, I have never had a stalker, and that sounds really fun. I think I'd want a stalker if they'd go ahead and bring me gifts if they stalk. That would be cool. But I want to just tell you that it's not a worry of mine that somebody's going to come and stalk me at my address. You have to give an address, a physical address for these emails. And if you don't want to give a physical address as in your home, then go and get a post office box or something like that. But you have to have an address. There are places you can go in every single state that has post office boxes that you can purchase, and they will handle your mail for you. There's some that will even not just receive your mail and then you can go and get it, but they'll actually package your mail and send it to you if you're not close to that post office box. So these services are not that expensive, and they are, like I said, in every single state. I think the closest to me is about an hour away that they provide that service, because we're in Mississippi, which is the last mile, right? We get things last here in Mississippi. But I'm sure that there's something like that near you guys, a monthly service you can pay for, so they can receive your email, and then they'll even package your email and send it to you, so you don't have to go to where that box is, okay? But always have a valid physical address. That's important because it is a law that you have to put your company information and address on there, okay? So now let's keep going. The next thing we're going to do is actually talk about the menus and what all the things mean inside of MailingBoss. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen again. And we're going to go ahead and go through the menus. I always start, for some reason, on the top right-hand side. I really don't know why, but top right is my favorite, I guess. So on the top right-hand side, this area right here where it says out, that is actually to log out of the system. And you don't really need to, because you're logged into Builderall. So all that you have to do really to get out of MailingBoss is close the window when you're done. The next one is this little circle with the I in it. This is information. And if you look at it, it will tell you what your sending quota is, how many lists you have, how many campaigns you have, how many total subscribers you have. And then if something has changed, you can click the refresh button and it will refresh it all for you. For those that have the $29.90 account, the $49.90 account, and then ambassadors, I believe you're unlimited as far as subscribers, and your sending quota is unlimited, your lists are unlimited, and your campaigns are unlimited. And that's because we at Builderall love the word unlimited. So there's unlimited on these for the $29.90 and the $49.90 accounts and the ambassador accounts. If you're a $9.90 account, you have a limit of, I believe, 100 subscribers. Okay. And then the next item right here where it says, hello, Christy Lynn Turner. This is where you can change your information if you need to. And this is the default information. You're not changing in a subscriber list. You're changing the default information. So if I click this, I can actually go into my profile. And this is where I put my first name, my last name, the email. I can choose the time zone. And right here, I'm going to go ahead and choose Chicago because that is my time zone. So let me see if I can find it. Let's see, I am Chicago. Oh my gosh. So it's way down here, I think, in the like bottom. Or maybe I passed it, I don't know. So there's Pacific, yay. And I went all the way to the bottom. So I probably passed it somewhere. But you can choose your, we'll just say you can choose your time zone on +6, I think, or +5. Hold on, you guys, let me find it. Well, wherever I'm at, I'm not sure, but we'll pretend like I found it and I can change my time zone. Your language is English, and if you want, you can pick something different, but mine is definitely English. I don't speak any of the other languages very well at all. Spanish, I speak a little bit. French, it goes as far as saying croissant, and that's about it. German, definitely not. Greek, definitely not. So my language is going to definitely be English. And then lead score. This is lead score is what happens when a person opens your email or they click a link. So you can set what the score is that they get. So on the lead score, this first one, points for opening the campaign. Every time they open your email, you get this many points for them. So it's automatically set default as 50 points. So if they open an email from you, they'll get 50 points for opening that. If they click a link inside that email, they get 100 points. You can change that to anything you want it to be. It doesn't have to be that. So for opening a campaign, I could set 1 point. And for clicking a link, I could set 1 point. So you can set it to whatever you want. I'll just leave it the default. And then the next thing I can change is up here where it says company. And again, this is the default information. So I'm going to click company. And that takes me to that same information that we input a little earlier, except it's got a little bit more to it. So I've got my name, my industry. So in here, I can say something like marketing or business or something like that. Let's see, marketing and advertising is good. There's my country. Zone, I think, is for when you are outside of the US and you've got different areas. Oh, for US, it actually breaks it down to state. Yay. So I'm going to say I'm in the great state of Mississippi. And there's my address. And then it's got an area for another line for address. And then the zone name. And for this, I've got MS for Mississippi. And then my website. And I'm just going to say www.christylynn.com. And then I've got city and zip code. And then I can put my phone number in there, my fax number in there. And then if you've got the VAT for the European nations, if you've got that number, you can put that in there. And then, of course, the from email and the reply to email. And again, that reply to is no reply at builderalldiva.com. So once I've put all that in, I just click Save Changes. And now I've got all of my default information saved and ready to go. So if you do not change these on your subscriber list, this is the information that's going to be pulled forward. is your default information. And so now I'm going to go to this menu right here. And the first item we have is workflow. If I click on that, it's going to take me into the workflow area. And this is actually where I could work on creating subscriber lists, creating email sequences, creating individual broadcast emails. You see right here, I've got lists, email campaign, email sequence, instant message, and tags. So there's a lot of neat things I can do in the workflow area. We're not going to go into too much detail today because we're going to do workflows probably in day 3. But to get back to the regular MailingBoss screen, I could either click back to MailingBoss, or I can click this little white icon right here. Anywhere I am, if I want to go back to the very beginning, I can just click that white icon and it will take me all the way back to the first page. So workflows is just a great way to do everything that you want to do inside MailingBoss, but in a graphical user interface so that you can kind of see it in a picture form, which is really cool. And then right here, I've got campaigns. If I click the down arrow, I can choose to work with either a regular email, which again is a broadcast email. I can work with an email sequence, which is a group of emails, or I can work with custom tags. And we'll talk more about custom tags later, but all tags are a way of identifying a person based on something that they've done in your email system or on your website. For example, if I want to tag a person because they were on a specific page of my website, I could actually tag them because they visited that page. And then because of that tag, I can send them special emails because they got tagged with that tag. For example, let's say they went to a website, or sorry, a web page of mine that had a video on it. And I want to tag them after 10 minutes of them being on that page. That tells me that they watched at least 10 minutes of that video. Now I can send them an email that specifically says, hey, I saw that you watched my video. I want to give you a special discount because you stuck with the video and you're awesome. And so we decided to give you an awesome discount. So tags are really cool because you can start identifying people based on certain things that they do or certain ways that they came into your list, and then send them special emails based on those tags. So remember, a regular email is a broadcast email, one-time email. Email sequence is a group of emails, and then tags are a way to identify your subscribers. Okay, so the next one is lists, and this is a way to look at all of your lists that are available to you that you've set up so far. And then we've also got some tools. If I click tools, in there, I've got sync subscribers, which allows you to look at 2 different lists and be able to synchronize those lists based on the subscribers. So if you've got 2 lists and you want to move everybody that's on this list, but not on this list, you want to move them over so that they're on both lists equally, you can do that. We've also got split lists. So if you've got a really long list and you want to split it up, maybe 10,000 users, and you want to split it up into 500 users per list, you can do that too. So there is a way to split your list and synchronize your list. So those are the tools that you have. And then on the, if I click the list, it gives me the ability to look at the list based in card form. So I call this a card. And that's the grid visualization, or the way to see it is in grid form. If I click the down arrow, I can choose list, and it will actually list them exactly like a list form. The buttons are still the same. All of these buttons right here are exactly the same as the ones that we get in grid form, which are right here. They're all exactly the same. It's just a different way to look at your list. Okay. Then the next area I go to are subscribers. If I click this, it's going to take me to where all my subscribers are at on every single list. So I can look at lists and the subscribers only in that list, or I can look at all of my subscribers in every list. So this one gives you all your subscribers in every single list. And if I go back to my dashboard, if I look at just this list, I can see a little icon right here that says subscribers. If I click that, it's going to give me the subscribers in only that list. So I can look at my subscribers per list right here, or every single subscriber right here based on all of my lists that I have. Okay. So the next button I have is this little icon right here, MailingBoss. If I click that, it takes me all the way to the dashboard for MailingBoss. Okay, and you can always click that and go back to the very beginning if you need to. Then we've got a menu over here. If I click this menu and look down, I've got several different things. Amazingly, a lot of them are the same as what you've seen before. So if we go over here to lists, take a look, we've got lists and tools. If I go to menu and then I go to lists, I've got lists and tools. So it's the same thing here as it is over here, no difference. If I go to campaigns, I've got email regular, email sequence, and custom tags. And then if I go to email campaigns, campaigns here, if I click it, I've got email regular, email sequence, and custom tags. So it's the exact same thing as what you're getting from this menu item right here. Then the next one is instant messages. And this one is actually new, but if you wanted to create instant message to go out, you can actually do that here. We'll be talking more about instant messages probably on our 5th or 6th day. So then I go to menus again, and I go to templates. And templates is where you've got many different templates available to pull in and use as an email. So if I click the down arrow, I've got my templates and then the template gallery. So I'm going to go ahead and click gallery, and I want to show you some of the templates that are available. So right here, we've got some pre-made templates. They don't look like much. They look a little bit scary. Right here, we've got no image, and right here, we've got just a little, looks like a little orange bar right there. But the actuality is these are some really nice templates. So right here is notifications for ebook. And I'm going to go ahead and click this button right here on the image and take a look at it. And you can see that this is the actual email design right here. So it's a really clean, nice email that you can actually use as a template for your emails. So if you wanted to use this as a template, all you'd have to do is click import, and it will actually add it to your templates. So now you can use that inside of an email and you can edit. The one tricky thing about these templates, though, is once you pull them into your email and you actually use them, they're a little bit of a challenge to edit. So make sure that you take a look at them, and you'll have to work a little bit to get them to get edited the way you want them. So pick something that's as close to what you want as possible. And then once you add it into your templates, you've got a couple things you can do. You can delete it if you don't like it. You can copy it if you want to make a copy of it and then just change a few things. Or you can actually update it by clicking the update button, and that will take you into this editor where you can start editing and making changes to it so that you have it standardized to what you want this template to look like every time you pull it in. And remember, editing is a little tricky. So say I wanted to edit this ebook online, this area right here is actually a picture. So you'd have to edit that by changing the picture. And then these links right here, you'd have to change those and edit the link. So you'd click on there and edit the link for it, and then edit the text. So you can see it's a little tricky to manage, but you can do it. It's just a little bit of work to get it to look exactly the way you want it, okay? So I'm gonna click this white icon at the top to go back to the dashboard. And if I go back to menus and I go to templates, I want you to notice if I click my templates, that template that we pulled in is actually sitting right there. So that's templates. They're a little tricky to use, but they're definitely wonderful to use as far as getting pre-made templates and editing them just a little bit to put the information that you want in there. So I'm going to go to menu again. And the next one I'm going to do is domains. If I click that, this is what allows you to connect a domain to MailingBoss. Now, what do I mean by connecting a domain? If you've already connected one of your domains to Builderall, meaning you pointed the name servers towards Builderall, that means the mailing records, the MX records, are already pointed as well. Not just the name servers, but everything is pointed towards Builderall. So all you have to do is add a new domain in there, and it will actually verify on its own. But if you've actually made it so that your name servers are not pointed towards Builderall, you're using something like Cloudflare or something like that, then you'll have to do a couple of other steps. So I'm going to show you what you need to do. I'm going to go to create new, and we'll say the domain is Christy, let me spell it right, ChristyLynn.com. So I've added my domain name in there, and then I'm going to click Save Changes. And if the name servers for ChristyLynn.com are not pointed to Builderall, then you have to actually go into wherever ChristyLynn.com is at, wherever that domain is located, and you're going to go in and change some of the records on your DNS server. You'll go in and add these text records, and it tells you exactly what to do. So this is just a regular text record. So you have to go into the DNS settings and change this, but you're going to add 3 new records, and they're all text records. So you'll add this one, then you'll add this one, and then you'll add this one. So you'll have to read the instructions really carefully, but you'll add these records to your DNS settings, and then your records will be pointing towards MailingBoss to be able to handle the email for this domain. Okay, so you have to do that if your name servers are not pointed towards Builderall. If your name servers are pointed towards Builderall, you do not have to do this step. It will verify on its own. Okay, all you have to do is click Verify DNS Records, and it will actually do it all on its own. Okay, let me go back. There we go.
Shelley,
Yeah, go ahead.
so if you have your domain like with a big place, like one of my main domains was with HostGator, and I wasn't sure how to do that, I called HostGator support, and in 3 minutes they did it for me.
Great.
So if somebody's confused about it, they can just call whoever is hosting their site, and they'll help them with it.
Yeah, it can be confusing, especially when you're talking about DNS records and you're not real knowledgeable about it.
I'm techie, and I couldn't figure it out, and I just called them, and literally in 3 minutes they had it done for me.
Yeah, HostGator will do it. GoDaddy will do it. It is a little bit tricky and a little bit hairy to understand if you've never done DNS records before.
We're
So-
not all computer geeks like you.
So do like Bonnie said and contact the support. And most times they will be glad to help you, because it really does only take a couple seconds to do it. And you can give them this information and they'll just lickety split do it for you. Okay. Because if you don't understand, they do understand, and they can actually get it for you. All right. All right. Let's jump in. Oh, another
Shelley,
question.
I did contact GoDaddy to do that, and they will not do it for you, but they walk you through it. They
Good.
no longer will do it for you. I guess they've run into problems. So, but they will step by step. So I messed it all up, and they fixed it all, and then we fixed it back, made it proper. So that's how GoDaddy works now. And the other question is SMTP. We can't use this as a regular email, like just sending out back and forth, correct? Like, I know we can, set up a special email to go out to a special list, but like if you and I wanted to talk, I was using that domain, I can't use it like a Gmail account, for example, or a Outlook or something, correct?
Any of the emails that you create while you're inside of MailingBoss, you can actually really create those, and just go to your domain and click that little email button and create those as a valid email. And then you can send and receive from Rainloop. So anything that you use inside MailingBoss, you can create those emails and then send and receive using Rainloop. But if you want to send and receive using a third-party client like Gmail, you can do the SMTP settings. So you can send and receive from Gmail, even though you're sending via that domain. So SMTP.
There's going to be a class on that.
I will give you that information for sure. We'll talk about the SMTP settings when we go through Rainloop, and I'll explain how to set that up. For example, on my phone, wherever my phone is, I can't believe my phone is not like within arm's reach. but I've set it up on my phone so that certain email addresses that I've set up through the dashboard, right? So I go to my domain, click the email icon, which I'll be showing you how to do that, and then create those email addresses. I can actually SMTP those into my phone and actually receive and send using those email addresses. And it looks like I'm sending from that email address, even though I'm doing it on my phone and not in RainLoop.
But only your phone, not a desktop.
You can do that on desktop too, but you'll have to use a third-party email client like Gmail or Outlook or something like that.
You know,
Okay, thank you. I look forward to that.
All righty.
Struggling
No
with that.
problem. No problem. It's very exciting what you can do. I'll also show you how to quickly get to your email when we do all the email setup stuff so that you can access RainLoop. We'll do all of that together, okay? All right, you guys, let's go ahead and continue with the menu. So I'm going to go to share. Ooh. Hello. There we go.
It's okay, I got that, sorry.
Awesome. All right, I'm going to go to share my screen. And so we've talked about the verifying domains, and let me cover that one more time for you, okay? Just to make absolutely sure you've got it. I know some of you are like, oh my God, Shelly, I've got it, but I want to make sure. So if you have your name servers pointed towards Builderall already, all you do is create new and then click verify, and it will verify by itself. If you do not have your name servers pointed towards Builderall, then you have to get those new text records, go into where you've got your domain hosted, and go into the DNS settings and add those new text records into your registrar or your domain, and then click verify. And typically that takes like 24 to 48 hours for that to take hold and then validate. Okay, so that's how you do the domains. The next one is API keys. And if I click here, you'll see that I've got an API URL, which is fantastic. And then I'll generate some new keys. And these keys are really important because now every single time that I connect my MailingBoss to my website, it needs those keys to be able to connect. And it's got a public key and a private key. When we go through the setup using an opt-in box, I'll show you where those keys are at so that if you ever get disconnected for any reason, you can put those back in. Yeah. Does somebody have a question? No? Okay, good. Oh, not good that you don't have a question, just good. All right, so those keys are really important because it's not going to connect to MailingBoss unless you have the keys. And inside of Builderall, it automatically goes in and gets your keys for you. But every once in a while, there's a disconnect and you have to re-put your keys in. So this is where you'll find those, is your public key and your private key. And again, when I go through and set up an opt-in form for you, I'll show you exactly where to find that at. So if you ever get stuck and you're not connected to MailingBoss correctly, you can check your keys. Okay, so those are the API keys.
Hey, Shelly, can you just refresh it?
This one? Oh, when you're connecting to MailingBoss? No, I don't know what happens, but every once in a while when you do that opt-in form, it just kind of goes crazy and loses the keys. And so a lot of people don't understand how to go back and make sure to put those keys in. So I'm going to show you, that's one of the troubleshooting steps, is to just check your keys and make sure you've got your keys. Okay, Phoenix?
Yeah, Shelley, one of the other things I've come across is a couple of questions about the difference between generating a new key and the implications of that on your existing lists, new lists, and when you would really need to do that. So maybe if you want to speak a little bit to that.
Yeah, the keys themselves, I don't generate new keys. I'm okay with using the regular keys that we've got that are default. New keys might be, I don't know, if somebody else is going to be accessing your MailingBoss list and you want them to connect, but you want to give them new keys so that they can't connect any of the old stuff. But for me, I've never had to generate new keys. Phoenix, can you think of a reason besides having someone else connect to your MailingBoss that you need a new key?
No, the one time I had to use it was when you weren't quite sure if that account got compromised in any way, and then I would generate a new link between the two, or if the link doesn't quite seem to be stable enough, I generated a new one.
Okay.
But it also seems to break anything else that you've linked before. So I just wanted to see what you thought of that.
Yeah, no, I've generated new keys just to check it out. And there, to me, there's no, I haven't found a reason yet, but I can ask the developers to say, hey, is there a good reason why we need multiple keys? Can you give me a reason why? And I'll report back to you guys what I find out, okay? But for me, there hasn't been really a reason, except for if I want somebody that's maybe another user in Builderall to be able to access one of my lists, to be able to add to my list. Like say Phoenix is doing something with me. She's got a website and she says, Shelly, I'm going to send you all of my leads because I love you that much, but I need to connect to your MailingBoss. I'd be like, sure, Phoenix, that sounds great. So I'd give her a different set of keys than my standard keys. That'd be the only thing that I could see for it. Okay.
Are you sure? Are you sure it actually keeps a duplicate key, or it just overwrites your current key so it will break your current stuff?
No, I don't. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't break any current stuff. Anything that is connected that has your keys in there, those keys should work fine. All I would be doing is giving you a new set of keys. If I gave you my other key, it might break it because it's a different account. But new key, and if I'm only using that key for what you're gonna send to me, then it would be fine.
I think we would need a little bit more detail on that from the developers, because I've got a couple of questions on that.
Okay, great. I'll see
Not
what I
now,
can
but I mean in the past.
Sure, I'll see what I can find out. I'll find out more about that for you.
Thanks.
All right, let's go ahead and share. And so we talked about our keys. Now I'm going to go to menu and talk about automation. This is one of my favorite areas, is automation, because we have the ability to add rules to be able to manage and sort, segment, and sift through our leads to do certain things. And we can automate some really cool stuff in Builderall or in MailingBoss. So right here, I can add new rules. So I'm going to click Add Rule. And these are the triggers that trigger these rules to happen. So I've got when a user subscribes, when a user unsubscribes, when they click a link, when they don't click a link, when they open a campaign, or when they don't open a campaign. So these are all triggers that if this happens, and then there's an arrow, see that arrow? So if this happens, then this happens. So I'm going to choose if a user subscribes. If I click on that, like that, if a user subscribes, and then I have to choose the email list that they subscribe to. So if they subscribe, then this happens. And the choice I have is if they subscribe to this list, then they get unsubscribed to this list. Okay, so let's go back and take a look at what else we can do. I can add another rule. And I'll choose the second one, if they unsubscribe. So if they unsubscribe from this list, then they're unsubscribed from another list. Okay, so you can see we've got a lot of power in starting to kind of move people around and juggle people around a little bit. I'll add another rule. If a user clicks a link inside of an email, so I have to choose the email and I have to choose the URL that's in the email. So if they click a link inside this email, then I can choose that they get moved, they get copied, I can change a field value, I can send a new campaign, or I can insert a tag. So those are all the things I can do if they click a link inside of an email. So now you can see that I've got a lot of power, because let's say that I send them an email that says, how much money do you want to make? Do you want to make $0? Do you want to make $1,000? Do you want to make $10,000? So if they click $0, maybe I move them to another list. And on that list starts an automated email sequence that says, oh my gosh, I can't believe you only want to make $0. You do not deserve to be on my list. So you're on this new list where you're not going to get any information. Let's say that they click the link that says, I want to make $10,000. Well, now I'm going to move them to a list that says, congratulations, you made it to the $10,000 list. Here's information on how you can make $10,000. All right, so you can see that having that link click capability allows you the power to move them to special lists where you can then send them special email sequences based on the fact that they click that link. So do I want to move them or do I want to copy them? Do I want to keep them in the old list and make a copy into the new list? So you can see how exciting it is when you can start thinking about how you want to manage your users and how you want to get them special information based on the action that they took. Okay, let's go one more. We'll add a new rule. And we've got the do not click. All right, so I'm going to click that. And I get to choose the campaign, which is the specific email. So I choose the email. I choose the URL that they do not click. And then I choose how many days, hours, and minutes. So I can literally say, if they do not click this link within, I don't know, let's say 9 days. If they do not click this link within 9 days, then I can choose to either move them, copy them, change a field value, or send them a special email campaign. So I might say something like, hey, I saw that you didn't click this link. It's got a special offer for you. I'm going to send you another copy of this offer just to make sure that you got it. Okay, so that's the send a special email campaign. So you can see the power that we have in not just specifying something special if they click a link, but we can also test them for if they don't click a link. Okay, same way with if we choose a campaign, which is just an email. When we talk about email campaign, that means one single email. So if I add a rule and I click campaign open, this means what can I do with them once they open the campaign? But then the next one is what can I do with them if they do not open an email? That's huge too, right? Because we want to know if they're opening their emails. So if they do not open an email within a certain amount of time, I can choose to then either move them to a different list, copy them to another list, change a field value, or send them a specific campaign that tells them, hey, I saw you didn't open this email. Okay, so this area right here, these automation rules, give us a lot of power being able to manage our users. So I want to go ahead and look at your eyeballs and see what you think about the automation rules. Cool, you guys?
That's really neat, Shelly. However, what happens when the person or the lead it is not opening it up because they goes to the spam folder or the junk folder?
That's one of your jobs as getting them on your list is to teach them how to go into spam and actually whitelist that email so that it goes into the inbox. So that's the value of that email confirmation page if you've got an opt-in form, right? And I think you guys have seen me talk about that in the other boot camps. So when we put the opt-in form together, we always want to send them. First, we want to make it a double opt-in to make it a good list. And then once they fill out that opt-in form, you want to send them immediately to an email confirmation page. And on that email confirmation page, you're going to give them instructions that say, step 1, check your email. Step 2, click the confirm button or confirm link. And step 3, welcome to the list. And then you tell them, if you can't find your email, check your spam box and be sure to white label this email address, right? And so it's partly your job to educate them on how to do that. Okay, and here's the thing, guys. I sound like Eric when I say that. Here's the thing. A lot of times, even when you're using Gmail and you're sending out, it goes to spam because there's so many things now that these email providers look for to trigger them to go into spam. So things like if you've got the word free in there, or if you've got extra exclamation points, or if you do a subject line that's all capital letters, there's so many things they don't like. And those things, no matter how good a reputation you have with that email address, they'll ship it straight to spam. So part of what you have to do now is educate everybody that signs up to your list on how to white label your email. Once they white label your email, your reputation actually increases and you'll have a better chance of getting into the inbox the next time. Okay, and we'll talk more about that on probably the 6th day of the boot camp. Okay.
Because Shelley, don't you have some kind of a list or something of how people can do that? Will you share that with us?
Yep, I absolutely will. That's going to be shared with everybody when we hit that. Okay.
Thanks.
Shelley, there's any difference between white label and whitelist?
Whitelist? Yeah, did I say white label?
Yeah, okay.
White label is very different. White label is when you buy a product and then you can sell it under your name or your business name. That's a white label. We don't even think about that with email. White list is when you actually get approved to go on a special list where you say, I like this email and I want to get this email in my inbox. So yeah, I was mixing up the two, but it is white list and you want to white list those emails. Every time you get your email white listed, that increases your email reputation for that email address. That gives it a better chance to get into the inbox. So yeah, I was interchanging the two, but they're not the same. So yeah. Thank you,
One
Rob.
other question, Shelley. As I saw you were saying something when someone doesn't open it, you can have them do something else. So what happens if they didn't open it because maybe it went into spam? What would you do for that person? I was sorry about missing that. I had a paper jam in my printer.
That's okay. You can actually choose if they do not open it. Let's say you say 3 days. They don't open that email in 3 days. You can actually choose to have another email sent. Now, chances are, if it went into spam the first time, that your next email that gets sent might go into spam too. So again, it really boils down to you getting that email reputation up. And that happens by getting into the inbox, having links clicked, and being whitelisted as much as possible. If you do those as much as you can, that reputation will continue to go up. And then you'll hit the inbox every time. Phoenix?
Shelley, yeah, I was wondering, somewhere when you sent a campaign, I remember somewhere in there's a list that shows you how many has been sent, how many has been opened, how many has not been opened. Mm-hmm. Isn't there also something that shows you how many ended up in spam?
No, I don't think we have a spam thing on that.
No, all it knows is that it got into, like, it went to Gmail. It doesn't know what folder it went into in Gmail. Did it go into inbox promotions, spam? It just knows that it got to Gmail or it got to Yahoo or it got to your domain. That's all it knows. So that's why it's a frustrating thing.
Yeah. There's no indicator of spam. It just tells you, did it get delivered or did it bounce? And that's really the only two that you get. And we'll look at that data later, okay?
Shelley?
Yep. Karen?
You made a comment and maybe it was just a misstatement. If they whitelist you, there's still a chance it's going to go to spam? I didn't know that.
Oh, no. Okay. If they whitelist you, there's still a chance that you go to spam because there's spam words that will trigger and send it straight to the spam box. So if you've got the word free in the subject line, nobody likes that. Nobody likes that at all. And it goes right into spam.
Even
so,
whitelisted with you.
I'm sorry, say it again.
Even if they're whitelisted with you.
I think even if they're whitelisted, they'll get shipped to spam. There's just certain words that it triggers for spam, and free is definitely one of them if you put it in the subject line, and then like extra exclamation points and lots more things. I'll give you a whole list of things to avoid, to put into your subject line and to put into your body to make sure that they're not going to spam. Even if you whitelisted, I think there's certain things that are going to trigger it to go to spam no matter what.
That's interesting. I get things every day that have free all over them.
Yeah.
Upside, downside, and they still end up in my inbox. So, and they're not
and it may be that their email has got a high enough reputation as well. So just, these are things that you definitely want to avoid. And when you see this list, it'll start to make sense to you because you'll be like, oh yeah, I definitely need to avoid that. And I need to avoid that. And I need to avoid that. And it's all about reputation. If you send an email out and it gets shipped to spam, then you're not helping your reputation, right? It's just not helping. If you get whitelisted, that helps. If you have links in there that are clicked, that helps. If your email's opened, that helps. So all of that helps your reputation. And here's the thing is that reputation is now a huge part of whether you get into the inbox or spam. It's just huge. So I'll be giving you a lot of information about how to increase your reputation so that you can make sure that you're getting into that inbox. Does it guarantee it? Gmail is probably the hardest one to keep in the inbox. They've got just algorithms that they run all the time that are very strict, and it's just super hard. So where everything else I get into the inbox pretty easily, Gmail is the one that I fight to stay in the inbox. And I've been whitelisted and still sent to spam.
Wow.
I've whitelisted myself and got sent to spam. So,
Thank you. I appreciate
Question.
it.
Dominic.
Yeah, okay, so I had my site set up with a double opt-in because I wanted to confirm because I was following your suggestions. And what I found is I had a friend come in and test it. Not only did he not get an email, it did not show up in a spam folder. So I kind of chose to go with a single opt-in on this particular instance. Would you recommend me going back to a double opt-in?
I'd keep working with that double opt-in if at all possible. And the reason is, and we'll go through this when we go through setting up a subscriber list, but double opt-ins are going to be a cleaner list. Right now, a single opt-in, they can put a fake email in every day, every day, all day, right? And so what you're going to get is people that sign up just to see if they can get your whatever you're giving them for free without really giving you their real email address. How do I know this? I do it all the time, right? I test people all the time. If I see something online, I'm like, ooh, I want that free ebook, or ooh, I want that schedule, or ooh, I want that report. I'll first try it with a fake email address, and you'll be stunned how many times I get all the way through and to that lead magnet for free. And I put in, Wonder Woman at dccomics.com or Batman at Gotham.com, right? They're not real emails. And that means that you've just given away this free item and you were supposed to be giving it away in exchange for a real name and a real email address. So that double opt-in actually helps to be able to keep that from happening. So you definitely want to try that as if you can possibly get it to work. Now, what email did he have, Dominic? Did he have like Gmail?
It was a Yahoo.
Really?
It was a Yahoo. It was
Yahoo's
a Yahoo.
Pretty lenient.
I tested it with my actually several of my Gmails because I have more than one, and I had no problem. But I consistently heard from friends who were testing my website, and it's just to enter in my website to buy from me. I'm not really, it's a bunch of affiliate links.
Yeah, I would definitely do my best to stick with that double opt-in just because of the value of the list. If you're wanting to use that list to be able to create that know, like, and trust factor and then promote your items, then you definitely want to have a good solid list. The other option is to create a single opt-in, pull all of the stuff out, clean it with the inbox path, and then put them all back in, which is never any fun because then you've got a lot of work to do to consistently clean that list. The better way is to create that double opt-in, and then it's a clean list because everybody on it has had to confirm their email address. Okay. All right, let's keep jumping in, you guys, and we'll go.
I'm sorry,
yes,
Shelly. Quick question with that.
Okay.
Those links that were provided to the money making links, they are not double opt-in.
Through the money making funnels,
yes,
they're actually not double opt-in, but they're created accounts on Builderall. They're actually valid accounts on Builderall, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if they're signing up for that, I would hope they would use a real list or a real email, right? But there are some that do fake emails, because I just did one a few minutes ago, right? When we went through the, you guys are all like, oh yeah, she did. I did the 7-day free trial and did it with a fake email, right?
Yes, but you were unable to confirm that it was a real email.
Right, that's right. So it can be done with a fake email to get the 7-day free trial. And I think you can do it with any other account. But the problem is that they don't do a real email address, and they're not going to get the Builderall information that they need, the emails and stuff like that. So you would think if they were signing up for a Builderall account, they would use a real email.
And the, excuse me, the problem with the money-making funnels is that they're getting the emails from Builderall before they're confirming our opt-ins.
Right. You can actually send, you do know that you can set up an email list to go out yourself with Builderall when you have new signups, right?
Not sure what you mean.
When you have a new sign up at Builderall and they sign up under you, you can actually have your own email sequence that goes out in addition to the ones that Builderall sends out.
Right, but Builderall's is getting there before they confirm my email.
True. That's true.
That's all I'm saying.
Yep, that's true.
And then also, one of the reasons why I'm glad we have SMS is I'm trying to implement, as you know, Shelley, in one of my forms to put the SMS into it. And I actually just found out that you can do that on the what form is that? Not the email one, the other one.
The contact form?
The contact form. It's cadastro nome _ telephone.
Yeah, that's right.
But I haven't figured out the other end. But we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, we'll talk more about that later. That's a
Yeah,
little bit advanced for everybody. I think everybody's eyes just glazed over.
But using the SMS as the first one that goes out before the emails go out with your script on, make sure you whitelist our emails is going to be really, really key.
Yeah, what John's talking about is we've implemented a change in Builderall where we can do text messaging now. And one of the things that we can capture is actually their phone number. And in a contact form, we'll learn about the difference between the two types of forms that we have. But in the contact form, we can actually create a field where we're capturing their phone number. And then that's wide open for us to be able to send text messages to them through Builderall. So it's actually a really neat feature that we won't really touch on a whole lot here. I'll show you how to do the opt-in forms and how to do the email marketing forms. But the SMS stuff is a little bit advanced for this particular class. But it is out there, it is available, and there will be training on it. It's still brand spanking new. So we'll get some training on it for you. All right, any other questions before we move on?
Yeah, Shelley.
Okay, go ahead, Rob.
I believe the double opt-in is supposed to be a norm now, right? Because if we're dealing with the European area, you must have a double opt-in, so it should be a norm.
Yeah, it should be. But let me tell you something. When I first started, if I did single opt-in because it was just easier, right? It was just like, just do a single opt-in. I'm kind of like Dominic. If I'm running into issues, I'm just going to do a single opt-in and just let her rip. But now with the European nations doing the GDPR stuff, the double opt-in is actually really important, because if you get any single citizen that is of European origin and they come into a single opt-in form and they don't have to verify anything or confirm anything, you're actually breaking GDPR laws. Now, are they going to come and kill you? No. Are they going to fine you? Probably not. They have much bigger fish to fry at this point than little bitty old Shelley Turner that has an opt-in form and has 100 people on her list. But the reality is that it's kind of like the canned spam laws that we have in the US. We have to follow them, and they're only going to get more strict about this as we keep going. So now's the time to start implementing these things and learning how to do it, because it's just a matter of time before all the GDPR stuff comes to all of the nations, not just the European nations. All of this is important, guys, because all of you guys know that when you look at your email that you get every day and you're like, oh my gosh, how did they even get my email? Or I unsubscribed to that 52 times. Why are they still sending me stuff? That's why the European nations have those laws. So it's just a matter of time before all of that trickles down to the rest of the countries. It's coming, so we might as well master it now, right? We want to be ahead of the game. That way, you guys are ahead of the game, and when other people need help, you can charge them to help them. Isn't that cool? Or you can teach them as part of being in Builderall. Either way, you're going to benefit from knowing it ahead of time, okay? All right, I'm going to go back in and share my screen. And so we talked about the automation rules. The automation rules are just part of what you can do with automating in Builderall. There's another area we'll talk about where we can do even more stuff, actually a couple areas. So this is just one of the areas that we can start to automate and segment and sort and sift our users, okay? I'm gonna go back to menu and I'm gonna go down to integration key. This is the next coolest thing. I like the automation stuff, but second favorite and probably really close to first favorite is the integration keys. And what this is gonna allow me to do is it's gonna allow me to add some more rules where I can do some neat stuff with my users. So if I click add rule, and I can type in a reference, so this would be Shelly 1, and I can choose a timeout. So how long before I apply this rule? I'm going to set it to 0 minutes. And then I can choose to use this email list because it's the only list I have right now. And then here's the money area is action. So I can choose to add this rule when a person subscribes to a list. I can insert a tag value if they subscribe to this list. I can insert a field value if they subscribe to this list. I can move a user if they subscribe to this list. I can unsubscribe or I can delete a user. So here's the cool thing that I can do, and I actually just did a training on this not too long ago. I can insert a tag value. So when I insert the tag value, let's say that I can insert a tag value called TT video. That's fantastic. So I set up this reference where at 0 minutes for this list, they insert a tag value and the tag value is TT video. What I can do then is add this reference to a web page, right? I can add this tag value to my web page. So if they go onto the page at 0 minutes, they will be tagged with TT video. So what does that mean? That means that now I can start tagging people based on where they go inside of my website. So in the training that I just finished, it actually showed how I could go from this page to this page to this page to this page and tag the person with every page they went to. And then once they go to that page and they get that tag, now I can send them emails based on that tag, right? So think about it. If they visited my website that has a video on it, I can say, hey, I saw that you saw my video. I'm so excited and I know you're excited too. Let me give you a 10% discount because you made it through my video, right? Or I can say, let's say they went to a checkout page that they hadn't bought yet. So I can say, hey, I saw that you went to the checkout page, but you didn't buy yet. So I want to offer you a 10% discount if you go back and buy my product. Okay, so there's ways to tag people and then send out an email based on that tag. So that, again, gives you a lot of power to start managing your list and start sorting people according to what they've done so that you can send out special emails. Okay, those tags are actually really cool. So any questions about that?
Yes, Karen, are you willing to, or could you put the replay of that video that you did in more detail below this replay?
It's in the business community area. If you guys are Builderall business owners, let me show you how you can get to it. I'm going to share my screen. And I'll go into this dashboard, and I'll go to Builderall Business. And then I'll go down to Builderall Community. Right here, there's the business community. And if I click business community, you'll see a bunch of videos that were put up by the Builderall leaders. And these are great, great videos. If you need English, right here where it says course language, you can just click it and go to English, and that'll pull up all the English ones. And then right there is the video called List Hopping for Fun. And that's where you can watch that video that shows you how to hop from page to page to page and give them different tags based on the page that they go to. And then you can set up special sequences so that every time they get a tag or they're moved to a list, that's actually what I did with that video, is instead of tagging, I just moved them from one list to another. And every time they get moved to a new list, it starts a new email sequence. Got it? Yep. Okay. Any other questions?
Sorry to interrupt. I'm going to have to go to an appointment, but I will catch the rest of the replay. So I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Thank you, Phoenix, for all your help.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
All right, guys. So that particular video that I just showed you, that whole sequence is actually in the business community area of Builderall. And I'll be doing some more trainings because I'm going to do one on tagging, Karen. So that's going to be coming up soon. So instead of list hopping, so instead of going from list to list to list, I will show you how to get a tag and then send out a special email based on that tag. Okay. So you end up staying in the same list, but you get an email based on that tag.
Shelly?
Uh-huh.
If you have uploaded subscribers, would it be smart to move those subscribers to a list that already has a sequence built up? And that would work in the sequence?
Yeah, if you want them to get that list, absolutely, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. You're welcome. All right, let me go back to share my screen, guys. So we've been all the way through all of our items. So we went through this menu item. We went through all of these menu items. Remember that this white icon right here will take you all the way back to the dashboard. So if you need to go all the way back, you can do that. And we went through all of the items on the actual menu, which most of them are just repeat items from over here. So we've got a lot that we covered today. So what's your homework today? What I want you to do is, if you haven't done this already, I want you to go into MailingBoss for the first time and set up your default information, okay? And make sure that all of those are filled out. And remember to go back in. I'm going to share my screen again. There's some stuff that's asked when you go in the first time, but that's not actually it's not all of the information. So I want you to go right here where your name is and click this. And I want you to finish filling out your profile information and finish filling out your company information. Because on the intro, when you first fill out that information, it does not ask things like your phone number, your fax, if you want to put that in there. It doesn't ask your VAT number if you want to put that in there. I don't think it asks your type or industry if you want to put that in there. So fill out all that information. After you go through that initial setup, go to your profile and finish setting all the information up that you want to set up. And make sure you put in your website. That's another important one to put in there. And then you'll have your default information ready to go. So I want you to do that. That's your homework for tonight. And then I want you to also go through and look at all those menus and just review all the things that we talked about today, including going through and clicking that white icon to go all the way back to the dashboard. So that way you know immediately how to get back to that dashboard. Also, just look at those menu items to see if everything makes sense. That way, if you have any questions tomorrow, you can ask me tomorrow, okay? Any questions about what we covered today? All right, you guys rock. Tomorrow, we're going to be adding our first subscriber list, and we're going to be talking about putting together an email sequence. And do you guys remember in algebra class when you took algebra, And the first day that you learn a new thing, they would teach you this really long way that you would do like 3 pages of calculations. And then the next day they showed you the short way where it was only like a half a page of calculations. That's kind of what we're going to do in MailingBoss. I'm going to show you the long way to do stuff first. And then we're going to go into workflow and I'm going to show you the short way. But I want you to know both ways so you can get into everything you want to be able to get into to make the changes that you need to make. Okay. So tomorrow starts the long way and then I'll show you the short way after that. Okay.
Shelley.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm an engineering student. They call that a proof.
There you go.
They call it a proof. Yeah.
Awesome. All right, guys. Do you have any more questions before we go?
Yeah, Shirley, I just want to make sure. Are those videos, the tutorials, are they up to date right now, or just let you?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, about as fast as I can create videos, they're out of date. So I'm chasing my tail, definitely doing videos.
Okay, all right. And I got some friends, and I want to make sure that they go through here first before they go through that. Okay, no problem. Thank you.
Yeah. I wish I could tell you, Robson, that everything was up to date, but it really is. As soon as I shoot the videos, something else comes out and it changes, and I'm just constantly chasing my tail trying to get the new ones made. So I'm creating new videos, but I'm just not fast enough.
No, I'm fine with that though. I'm glad that you're honest about it though. I understand how the company's always changing things, so I understand it's hard to catch up.
Right, and
I know
most of the videos though, even if they watch the older versions, the idea of most of it is still the same, even though it may look a little bit different. There are some people that can't handle the way it looks different, but most people, they can get the gist of the idea, and from that video be able to take what's in there and kind of deal with it with the changes that have been made. So there's just a couple exceptions to that, like the membership areas. They're drastically different how you set that up now. So that would be one that doesn't match the video at all. But many videos, even though it's changed a little bit, you can still get the gist of the idea and still be able to manage. Okay. And I promise I'm working on updating videos as fast as I can.
Shelley, you noticed I changed halfway through because I was in the car.
I noticed.
I had to go to the dentist this morning. But the last day of our last boot camp, my water heater totally went out.
Oh no! Oh my gosh!
And because it's underneath the kitchen sink, where they put it, and we remodeled the house, it took me 11 days to get someone to come in and.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. Well, let me tell you, your teeth are beautiful. Karen.
You mentioned, speaking of outdated videos, I don't know if this is current or not. You talked about a Monday, which I couldn't get to. I guess it was out on Sunday night, so it said it had been moved. But there is really a Monday training morning early for specific. Then you also mentioned a Wednesday, and I know about Tuesday night. I'm not sure how to get to that one, but I'll figure it out by tonight. And then a Wednesday morning, is that still happening?
It's still happening. Yep. The only exception is when I'm on the road.
Oh, where do I find that one? The Wednesday.
I typically post that in all the groups, like just before it starts. So, and I think I go live to the Builderall English group because it's a tools video on how to use the tools. So the Monday group goes live in the Builderall Business Facebook group. The Wednesday morning training goes live in the Builderall English group, which is just the users group. The Tuesday night, it goes live to YouTube now, to the Builderall USA YouTube channel. And then, of course, we got our ambassador meeting on Friday, which goes live into the ambassador Facebook group. And I think that's all. And all of those are listed on the event calendar. And they all should have the location too. Let's take a look and make sure that they have the location. So hang on a second, we'll look together. So if I go down to the event calendar, which on the left-hand side, right here is the event calendar. I'm going to click that. And on the event calendar, we'll wait for it to load. There we go. And it is March the 26th. So right here is today's date. So yesterday, the Builderall business meeting, the location is on the dashboard. Right, that's where that goes, is to the dashboard. And then the boot camp, we actually had to push it back a day because of my travel. But Wednesday, the live marketing training, and it's live in the Builderall English Facebook group. And a boot camp again, and then ambassador meeting in the Builderall Leaders Facebook group. So it should have all the locations in there, the time that they start, and what they are. So hopefully that'll help you.
Speaking of ambassadors, any news about him possibly opening that back up again?
Ambassador will actually be completely closed down to new members as of July the 4th, tentatively. The new 3.0 is going to be tentatively set for July the 4th. So, if you want to become an ambassador, now's the time to become an ambassador, because
How do you do that?
You'll have to contact the person above you. The only way to come in as an ambassador is the person above you must be an ambassador. If they are not, then you can tell them, hey, I'm interested in becoming an ambassador. Will you become an ambassador so that I can become an ambassador? If they are not, then there's not a lot of options, because we're not supposed to advertise for ambassador across team lines. So if you are on somebody else's team, I can't tell you to come to my team and be an ambassador. That's against the rules. So contact the person above you and find out if they're an ambassador. And if they're not, just tell them, hey, I'd really like to be an ambassador. Will you become an ambassador so that I can become an ambassador? Okay.
So they have to recommend you?
Yes, you have to be invited to be an ambassador.
So if my upline is an ambassador, currently he can invite me, because he said he had 2 tokens. And
Yes.
he used those. Does that change?
Just talk to him about it, and just find out if he's able to give you a token.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. David.
Shelley, as you know, I'm just using it as a tool at the moment, right?
Mm-hmm.
Would I be able to sign up for the ambassador as a tool user, or do I have to go for the business?
You'd probably be able to go straight to ambassador, because it's okay. You can skip the Builderall business part. It is $100 a month, so it's going to be a little bit higher amount. Okay. But you're going to get a better commission structure. And again, okay, that program is going to be gone as of July the 4th. There's not a whole lot of information I can give to you guys, because it's not supposed to be really a public release program, right? Yeah. But definitely contact your sponsor. And again, if they're not an ambassador, you guys have a lot of power that you don't understand you have. Because as a person that wants to be an ambassador, you can say, hey, I really want to be an ambassador. Will you upgrade to ambassador and then sign me up as an ambassador?
See, I don't know who my sponsor is, you see.
You can find out. You can find out.
I know that Neville is Taylor. He's my sponsor. So he would be the one that I contact, right?
Yes. And you tell him, I'm interested in being an ambassador. I would like to get one of your tokens. And then be just as nice as you can, send them chocolates through the mail, whatever it takes, and talk to them about becoming an ambassador. But remember, ultimately, it's their decision whether they upgrade you to ambassador or not. It has to be by invitation. So you have to convince them that you are ready to be an ambassador. Ambassador means that you're all in for Builderall, right? That's what that means. If you're not all in for Builderall, don't ask them.
Another thing too is not all ambassadors, is it's a program that's been finished a long time ago. I guess this is the tail end where it's finally like it's just over. Like there's not even any talk about it. There were 2 tokens per ambassador. So even though you may ask the person above you, or they may ask the person above you, however it may go in the line, is they may not always have those tokens, because there's only 2. So just maybe want to mention that, so that no one gets upset at somebody if they don't have the capacity, because it's an old program. That's all.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people, you guys, that really want to tell you yes, but if they don't have the tokens, they don't have the tokens. And they've only been given 2. So the reality is, if they've already used their 2, they may not have a token available to give you.
So we're late to the party.
You're late to the party, but it's not because it's intentional. It was because it's supposed to be a very limited program, and it's only by invitation. So again, you want to make sure that if you're talking to your upline, that you give them a reason that they want to give you that token.
See, I don't know who to talk to.
David, if you don't know who your sponsor is, contact support and you can find out who your sponsor is. Okay.
Right. Okie dokie.
David.
Thank you.
David, just open up the Builder Out Business. In the bottom there, it should say you have been sponsored by whoever. It's right there.
You see, I don't have the business yet.
Oh, you don't have the business. Okay.
No,
right.
I'm just
You
a
can
tool.
also-
I'm just using the tool.
You
Gotcha,
can go
gotcha,
to your,
gotcha.
you can, you should be able to message through your, I mean, I don't have just a non-business account, but you still should have your account information under your profile.
Mhm.
And there should be a way to send messages to your sponsor. And
Oh, that's right, Greg. Let me share my screen and see if we can see that, so we can show that to David. All right, here I am, and here's my profile, account info, and let's see, invoices, user log, delete account, and tag.
Sponsor box.
Yeah, I don't see it in here. It may show only on the business one, Greg.
okay. Okay.
All right, this is business, so it should be. I remember we did have it for a while, but they may have removed it. Oh, here this says receive messages by sponsor, but not send.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah, I would
Box.
definitely check with support, and they can help you out. Okay,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
'Cause I'm very, very keen on it. You know, I just want to do it.
Yeah,
But
it's
there's
great
a
if you can
couple
get
of
in
little
for
things.
sure.
Yeah.
Great,
And
great, great.
especially before the other thing. Okay. Thanks a million.
You're welcome. And we've got a lot of stuff coming, you guys. So just stay tapped into the training. Like Karen said, there's a lot of training, right? There's Monday for business, there's Wednesday, there's Friday for ambassadors, there's the Tuesday night training, and of course the boot camps. So you want to make sure you're tapped into all of that so that you can find out about all this stuff, because unfortunately, like Greg said, the ambassador thing, we're kind of late to the game in it. And if you had been on the meetings and stuff, you would definitely know more about the ambassador program and how to sign up. You don't want to miss programs like that. And I know it's hard to stay updated. These videos are like so long. But the reality is that you don't want to miss any information, if at all possible. So on those meetings, stay tapped into that event calendar and what's going on, and be there if you can. If you can't be there, then definitely watch the replays, because you don't want to miss anything. Things change in Builderall so fast, and things happen so fast. About the time you think you can sit back and relax, that's the time you need to sit up straight and be ready, right?
Ellie?
Yes, Judy.
I know yesterday there was talk about all these upgrades, you know, with MailingBoss, with the 3.0. He did say that we may be seeing some of that before the initial launch. Any idea when we're going to see the upgrades? With
I wouldn't expect it, Judy, until really close to July the 4th. Here's the thing. If we put July the 4th on it, then we'll say July the 4th. And then if it comes in early, that's great. If it doesn't, that's okay too, because this is software and it's really hard to put a date on it. And as soon as you say July the 4th, and then say, oh, but it's going to come in earlier, it may not come in earlier. In fact, we may have to push July 4th out. But right now, tentatively, July the 4th. And if anything comes in earlier than that, we're going to say thank you, and we're going to be happy. Because software is software, and you're dealing with people that are in different layers of development. So we've got the software development itself, then you've got the beta testing, then you've got the putting it on the servers to test it, and then the real servers. And even when they go to the real servers, sometimes it's not quite ready. So they got to work through issues. So Judy, I would just say July the 4th. And if we get it earlier, then it's really, really good. Okay.
All right. Thank you, Shelley.
You're welcome. I hate to burst that bubble. I know we all want it really early, but being software, I just can't promise anything. Okay. Any other questions, guys?
What we can do about that is we can just pray that may the 4th be with us.
That's exactly right.
I hear
Thank
you.
you, Greg. I appreciate that. That was awesome.
All right, guys. If there's not any more questions, I'll go ahead and let you go. Remember your homework for tonight. Also, the replay will be up and available in the Builder All Bootcamp area in probably just the next few hours. I'll have your homework listed in there too. Do your homework. And I will see you tomorrow to do our subscriber list and our first email sequence. And I will see you guys later. Have a great day. Bye,
All
guys.
right, Shelley. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye,
Can we
Shelley.
talk for a minute after, Shelley? Do you have a moment?
Yeah. Let me send you a different Zoom link, okay?
Absolutely.
All right. Bye, guys.
everybody.
All right.
Bye-bye, Greg. Bye-bye, Shelley. Bye-bye, everybody.
Goodbye, Shelley. Thank you.
Bye,
Take
guys.
care.